Houston is possibly the worst city in the United States for the misuse of lost and runaway boys or homeless, defenseless boys. Probably 350 or more boys are killed every year in Houston.
About Houston? I would say I hear about Houston that it is the worst. That children are brought to Houston from places such as New Orleans or from other parts of the Southwest.
Their life is sad. It's 100% sad. They get up, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 during the day, and they go out and they have to earn money, and they're treated bad. They eat only when they're fed by somebody else, and they never get anything for anything. They always have to return sexual favors for it. They sometimes get beaten, they get robbed, they get pushed. You know, the police abuse them, everybody abuses them. One young man got out of the car, by young man I mean the age of probably 15, maybe 16, and he got out of the car and he was just badly beaten. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You looked right at him and his face was black and blue and blood coming out of his nose and his lip was fat and he couldn't walk very well and he was sick to his stomach in the bushes and he was just very badly beaten. Evidently he had got either a bad trick or the man was on S&M or something and just kind of like shoved him out of the car as he went around the corner. Opened the door for him and said, "Get out."
Any of them ever want to hurt you?
That's why I watch out for them.
Do you watch out for them?
Yeah.
How do you tell?
You know, when they start to jump now.
What, jump on you?
Yeah, if they do, you know, I'll be ready, because I'll be watching every time.
What do you be doing then?
I just be laying down in bed, letting them suck and just watch them.
But if they start to jump on you, what can you do?
I always carry a pocket knife or something like that. I don't know if they hurt me or not. You know, I just watch out for them, just in case they do start.
9 out of 10 of them are weird. I mean, they get, you know, there was one guy that picked me up in Atlanta, and he just said that, you know, he wanted somebody to go out and have a few beers when he would smoke a joint. And we got over there, and I was drinking this beer, and all of a sudden, you know, doing like that, you know, I couldn't even see straight. My eyes were rolling back. And then the room started spinning and I was out of it. When I came around, he had me tied up in the basement, no less. Way up like this, you know. And I couldn't even move.
Did he tied up?
Yeah, stretched.
What was he doing to you?
Nothing. He was just sitting there with this whip looking like he's gonna hit me with it. He just threatened me a lot, and I was sitting there crying and scared to death. You know, because the worst they could do is kill me, you know.
That interview was conducted several months ago in Houston, Texas. Investigators now fear that the 15-year-old is dead. The body of a young man found ritualistically dismembered in Missouri is thought to be his.
I woke up and he was clamping handcuffs on me. I was laying on my stomach. The other two were on their stomach and they were handcuffed and their feet were tied.
The most shocking and horrifying result of older men having sex with young boys is the story of Dean Corll in Houston, Texas, and more recently John Gacy in Chicago. In Houston, Corll lured or had brought to his home at least 27 young boys, all under the age of 17. The boys were sexually assaulted, then killed.
In Houston, I give the figure based on, I think, prudent calculations that upwards of 350 boys a year are killed deliberately because of this. Many more die of drug overuse, malnutrition, of suicide. The national toll per year is in the thousands every year. Kids die violently because of this. In the first 3 months of this year, 1981, 30 boys were found dead in Houston. None of them was called a homicide. They were found to be dead of exposure, dead of causes undetermined, dead of massive internal bleeding, as in the case of one child under 10 who was found naked in a Dempsey dumpster with his colon and his rectum torn apart. He was called not a homicide, but a victim of massive internal injury.
He was fist raped.
Yes.
What is the sort of psychic roots or the nature of this phenomenon?
I've been studying this phenomenon since the spring of 1979, and to the best of my knowledge, most men who seek sex from boys are not homosexuals. To the extent that they have active sex lives at the peer level, they are heterosexual. Many of them have no peer sex at all. There are gay people who are what we call pederasts, that is, men who lust after children, especially boys. But it appears to be the case that most such men are not gay, that their attraction is for young, defenseless children, especially boys, because they're more exotic and more forbidden. But it is not a matter of gay rights as advocated by practically anybody. This is a much different sort of phenomenon. The reason that the gay community usually scorns any investigation of the subject is that they know that the average person in the public will blame homosexuals and homosexuality for the phenomenon, regardless of what facts are presented.
Well, this is not just a sexual thing in the way we talk about it. It's a power trip, and it's also a sadistic thing, because these kids are tortured and killed.
The kind of individuals involved are down the line, almost in every instance, in the cases I've investigated, men who are very powerful, usually very wealthy, and usually administrate control over a large number of people.
Wealthy Houstonians can and do obtain boys in a most discreet manner.
It's gotten a little more sophisticated now. It's gotten more expensive. Higher prices are paid, and it's gotten a little more sophisticated in terms of I think the types of people who are into it, types of adults who are into it, professional people.
Houston professional people?
Yeah.
Soliciting boys?
Oh, sure.
You know, I mean, you can be a millionaire in Houston, man.
Hustling?
Yeah.
You have people here that are so wealthy that they can't let anybody know what they're doing, that they're willing to pay $200, $300, $400 a night, you know, for one of these boys not to say anything about them. You know, you got judges, doctors, lawyers, politicians, advertising people
Involved in
buying young people, if it's for an hour, for a night, or for a month, or for a year. They actually have white slavery in this country. It's a fact. And in Houston, right now, it's going on.
Tom, is there any evidence that there's any connection with organized crime? Obviously, with other forms of prostitution that we know about, there are close connections. The mafia has always utilized prostitution as one of the pillars of its organizations and sources of its income. Is there any connection here that has been revealed with organized crime?
Yes, when we're talking about 400 kids on the street between 2 and 4 in the morning in a city like Houston, there's very little organization. There may be a runner or a pimp who's trying to squeeze the boys a little, but there's no big businessman running a sophisticated operation. But when there is a bookstore with 40 stalls, there's often a stable of boys. That's fairly good-sized business. And there's bigger business than that. That's the call boy operations, like this one we described with the 10,000 customers. That's big business, it's crime, it's organized, but it's not the mafia. It's the pillars of our society. There is big business, organized crime. It's sophisticated, it's closely attached to the major financial, commercial, industrial, educational institutions of our society. It's run by the same people who run those. It's frequented by the same people who occupy management positions in those. It's not the mafia. It's an adjunct of clean business. It's serving the most respectable people we have in our society, the people who are the elite.